keep your head on the swivel for October 7th. So guys, apparently a lot of people are now a little concerned about what might happen October 7th. Now, yes, I know it's one of those dates again that we keep getting with doomsday scenarios or some kind of event unfolding. Now, there's a difference between these kind of dates that are given to us versus, the earth cracking in two or the sun exploding or some mystical nonsense happening on these dates. The problem with these dates that we get, that these dates are historical dates, and historically certain groups of people like to attack on these days. So October 7th being the year anniversary that Israel was attacked by Hamas, there is a lot of chatter going around and a lot of concern being thrown around about a possible attack here in the United States. Now, that can also unfold in other countries as well, but we're going to focus here in America. Now, Bear Independent and Viking Preparedness both did a video on this situation that could possibly unfold on October 7th here in the United States. I didn't watch Bear Independent's video, but I watched Viking Preparedness video. Bear Independent gave me a heads up via text message when we were talking about going down to Tennessee. Rick, or Prepper Revelator, sent me a video. A couple of people actually sent me a video on Viking Preparedness warning for what might be happening next Monday. So, of course, I watched Viking Preparedness video, and he goes along the same line. Now, his intel was a little different from Bear Independence. Bear Independence has direct intel from military guys around him and people he knows. Actually, a guy he knows, excuse me. And Viking Preparedness intel came from police officers and sheriffs that are in the know. So you had two people who had different intel that were different sources of intel, but both the same. Pretty much talking about something possibly happening, and the credibility of it happening is very, very high. All right. So about a day later after watching Viking Preparedness video, my job gives us the heads up that something could happen over the weekend leading to October 7th. More like October 7th, and telling us to be aware of our surroundings. So when I heard that, a lot of us heads popped up and we're like, they're giving us a heads up. And they don't normally give us a heads up on something like this. So the fact that they're giving firefighters, EMTs, the heads up, that means the credibility is high. That doesn't mean it's going to happen and that it's definitely going to happen. It just means that there is a higher probability of something happening, an attack of some kind. So I am relaying the information to you guys as well, who might not watch Viking Preparedness or might not watch Bear Independent. I'm passing this information on to you as well. And because the job gave us the heads up, that credibility became more. Now, I just read an email based on the same situation, and the guy pretty much told me the same thing. His buddy has gotten credible information as well, that there is a high probability of something happening. Now, everyone says the same thing, that the possibility of it happening is very high, but it doesn't mean it's going to happen. It's not a definite. Nothing's a definite. Something could be foiled. Maybe they were just throwing chatter in there to make people nervous, because they do that shit a lot as well. So again, the purpose of these videos is to make sure that you guys know that something could happen and that you're ready in case it does happen. So when it happens, you're not flipping out and going, what the fuck? You'll be like, oh shit, they talked about this a couple of days ago. This is what it is. Now, there are three options you have. One option is to fight. Second option is to run. The third option is to render aid. Now, of course, I'm going to have my bags on me to render aid. Being that I live here in New York City, I really can't get into a gunfight with somebody, but I can absolutely render aid. So I'm going to pick the third option. If it gets hairy and things are getting out of control, obviously I'm going to have to run until the coast is clear and then come back and render aid where I can. NYPD, I haven't heard much from them, but I just heard from our job. So I know that the NYPD got the same heads up we got, because we normally don't get it first. We're the last to get it. They're like, they're firemen. They're there to put out fires, but there are a lot of excuse me, there are a lot of firefighters downtown. So the style of the event unfolding is supposedly they're going to hit up areas with high population of people. Now, here in New York City, we have multiple spots with high population of people. I found it interesting that there is a protest happening on the same day. It's an all-out protest for Gaza against Israel on October 7th, which I find very, very smack in the face-ish kind of deal. Nonetheless, these people are trying to hold a big all-out protest. Now, I might live stream that if I can get away with it, but other than that, I'm probably going to stay clear if I'm not live streaming it. Now, they are going to hit multiple locations in New York City, and these locations that they're hitting are the same exact locations terrorists would absolutely hit. So I find that interesting. When I heard what Viking Preparedness said, I heard what the FDNY said, and then I get a notice that there's this big event happening in New York City in regards to protesting against Israel, I go, interesting. Because when I looked at the locations, it made sense what Viking Preparedness said. Now, this protest, they want to flood New York City for Palestine, October 7th. No work, no school, all out for Gaza. The gathering points are going to be Wall Street at 1 o'clock, City Hall at 2:30, Washington Square Park at 3:30, Union Square at 4 p.m., Grand Central Station at 5 p.m., Times Square at 5:30 p.m., and Columbus Circle at 6 p.m. These are the very same spots you would absolutely go to if you wanted to create maximum casualty of people. These are the locations you would hit, and this is the location these people are hitting. So I find it a little on the nose, if you will. So again, I'm not worried about it. I'm ready to rock and roll no matter what happens. If something happens, I'm in it. If something doesn't happen, guess what? I get to stay home. So either way, guys, I'm ready to rock and roll. Most people are ready to rock and roll. Some people are going to engage. Some people are not. Now, this is where things get interesting. The event unfolding and these guys hitting certain locations, they could very well also hit small towns as well to throw confusion in there. Because as we are all looking at big cities to get hit, they can absolutely sneak into small towns, especially here in New York State, PA, and Jersey, and create maximum fear by hitting small towns and avoiding big cities, and then keeping everybody on their toes. Or an all-out event, as Viking Preparedness said, where they hit multiple locations throughout the country at the same time. That's also a very big possibility. I think that's why a lot of people who are chattering are nervous, because they're hearing that it could be a multi-level or multi-area attack all at the same time. And that's something to be a little more concerned about. Needless to say, guys, if it happens, it's going to happen, and you're going to either be ready to fight or you're going to be ready to run or render aid. Nonetheless, guys, this is just a heads up. That's all it is. This is not to get scared. This is not to turn into a bitch and start carrying on. This is just to keep it in the back of your head in case something goes down. All these videos are heads up. That's it. Not to get scared. We don't get scared here because this is not the Bitch Nigga Network. Other than that, guys, this is the Angry Prepper. Thank you for watching.